I'm Treya Lam, and I'm a songwriter and composer based in Brooklyn, New York. I play several instruments, mainly piano, viola, and guitar. Songwriting and composing is my purest form of expression. I found that I could convey the messages that I wish to communicate out into the world through music, and it's been like a work in progress. In the fall of 2015, my mother passed away, and facing loss like that really put things in perspective in terms of how I wanted to spend my time. So for today's set, I brought my Martin Auditorium guitar and the Gibson 2020 Hummingbird in a vintage cherry sunburst. My viola, which is just kind of like a student viola that a friend gave to me, going through a Fishman pickup into an LR Baggs Venue DI that then goes into a Line 6 DL4 delay looper pedal, which then goes into the Keeley Caverns reverb and delay pedal. I would love to be performing this music in caves and places with natural reverb. However, if I need to be playing in a stage or any room, I want to still bring that feel into it.
Why will you keep the flowers growing till you come home?
A couple different setups today. The first of which, we have a viola that's being picked up with a Fisherman electronic pickup. We are sending that into a Radial Pro D2 DI box, splitting that out both to my front of house console for recording, but then we're also sending that signal into a guitar cab, which we're miking with a Sennheiser MK4 large diaphragm condenser microphone. We're also using another Sennheiser MK4 microphone on Treya's guitar body. We're furthermore using an AKG 414 UBS microphone for their vocal. The second microphone setup we had was for Colossus, which is on an acoustic upright piano right here. Very exciting setup on here. We kept the AKG 414 UBS on the vocal, and on the hammers we used two Octavia MK012 microphones. These are cool little pencil condenser microphones. I used cardioid capsules on the hammers, and on the soundboard I used my two Sennheiser MK4 microphones, left and right as a spaced pair, to capture a stereo image of that soundboard. I've got my keyboard microphones, the Octavias, in an ORTF setup, so it's about 110 degrees spaced pair between those two. And on the spaced pair on the back with the MK4s, we're basically roughly observing a 3-to-1 rule, in which the distance between the microphone and the sound source, in this case the soundboard of the piano, is at least 3 times smaller than the distance between the microphones themselves.
Take your time, little child, don't you go growing up too fast now.
So Magic is the first song on my first record, Good News, and I wrote it for a friend of mine who was about to have a child, and the week that I wrote it was also the same week of the Sandy Hook shooting, and I remember just being so horrified. My initial instinct was just to offer some sort of prayer or mantra to the children who had to survive having experienced that. So the chorus is, take your time, little child, don't you go growing up too fast now. The world is full of magic, it's wonderful and fragile. Let's try to make it last.
How will keep the fires burning till you come home? Why will keep the fires burning till you come home?
For Otherland and Keep the Flowers Growing, they're both off of unreleased work that I'm calling Otherland, and These songs were written in response to not just losing my mother, but my grandmother and a close friend of mine who was a songwriter. Happened in such a short period of time. It was like one loss after another. And honestly, after that, I went for like maybe a 3 or 4 years writer's block after that. My ability to tap into the source from which the songs flow was too painful to occupy. And Otherland was created as a kind of healing practice through song and through music.
If you seek refuge, come through the door, 'cause giving unto others gives us more.
The chorus of Colossus was one of the first things to emerge from the grief and to break the writer's block. And I think I was just like in the basement of like my dad's place. And the chorus initially was a reference to the moon, but it evolved inspired by Emma Lazarus's The New Colossus poem. All of my work is trying to go beyond the despair and get us to a place where we believe in something better. If you like what you've heard, you can find my music on most major streaming platforms. It's on Bandcamp, I'm on Patreon, Instagram, and most social media platforms as well. You can probably find something in a link somewhere.